Hello everybody, we are back for another Beastars review, and holy shit, this is getting down. We're getting down to the wire. So without further ado, you of course know spoilers, so you have been warned. Let's talk about this shit. So we start off the episode by seeing Legoshi as he's in some forest and he's sniffing this tree, and all of a sudden he's picking up some insects and he's asking them for help. We then cut to Gohan and Legoshi sitting in some dark room as Gohan is telling him to eat these bugs. Gohan says that eating the bugs is 100% legal, but that most people don't like to eat them alive because nobody wants to really feel guilty for taking a life. Gohan tells him, meaning Legoshi, that he's always been a little arrogant little shit. And that's okay though. And he basically says that his fighting spirit right now is growing and that he is using that to protect others. Legoshi then, just like in Fear Factor, he ends up eating this insect, but not before asking for forgiveness, as something begins to happen to him. And he says, as this flows through his body, that it's the flavor of life. He starts to, gag, and he almost throws up the insect, but he's actually visited by the ghost of said insect that he just ate, saying that because Legoshi ate her, that she won't be able to become a moth. Legoshi then apologizes to the moth, saying that he'll accept any punishment that she sees fit, but the moth is like, nah, we insects, we don't do that kind of stuff, and we only need one thing in our lives, and that is a respect for life. Legoshi then proceeds to start crying, saying that he wishes he was an insect and that he doesn't really want to be a wolf, with the fact that he's been nothing but a suffering soul his whole entire life, with him being a wolf. The insect then says to Legoshi that he needs to keep on living before leaving this hallucination that he's been having, because Legoshi then wakes up as he's passed out after eating the larva, which Gohan told him to. And before Legoshi can leave, Gohan tells him that he needs to, take a good look at himself in the mirror, and we now get classic Legoshi back. He's back. We've missed him, but guess who's back? Back again. Classic Legoshi trying to fuck Haru. But that was my bad rendition of Without Me. But aside from that, Legoshi then says he's gonna tell Louie what he plans to do about everything with Riz. But now that he's back to his full self, that no doubt they're going to recognize him if he even gets near Louie. As Gohan says, he has no choice. He grabs his knife and he inches closer and closer to Legoshi. We then cut to Riz, who's tasting some salt, as he says that, he's tasting all these other things and saying that his sense of taste is coming back to him. Riz's friends are basically like, hey, come on, we're hungry. And Riz is like, don't worry, I got you. But then his friends are talking to each other and they say, hey, have you noticed that Riz has sort of been getting a little bit bigger? And we then get this frightening shot of Riz cooking as he says he's gonna take on Legoshi as his true self. The true self that killed Tem. And that is one scary looking bear. We then cut to Louie and Ibuki at a bar. And, they're talking about hypothetical situations, about if one gang or another was set to attack them. And, it's nothing, really of substance, at least not until now. Because Ibuki then leaves for the bathroom, saying to himself that, the boss is finally starting to open up to him. And then we see someone walk into the bar and sit next to Louie. And it's pretty obvious that from the look of it, that this is a woman. And as this woman sits down next to Louis, we then see it's none other than Legoshi. Legoshi in drag, and I fucking love it, and I nearly died while watching it. And you know what makes it even more perfect? The fact that Legoshi is talking in a cute senpai girl voice. She's like, Louis senpai, and it's so amazing. It's the best thing, like one of the best things in this whole entire episode. Louis sees this and he starts freaking the fuck out as Ibuki comes back, and he's like, he says that Louis is being targeted by some huge female. Louis is pissed, and he's questioning why Legoshi is dressed like that, and Ibuki says, he's all like, you know, Louis is a young male. He's an 18-year-old guy. I don't want to judge his private life, but to be honest, that chick is ugly as hell. And Ibuki is coming in with those burns. Ibuki's single-handedly the best part of this whole entire exchange between the three of them. Louis then asks Ibuki to leave them alone, and they finally get to talk about Riz. And Legoshi said he's gonna fight him. And as someone pointed out in my last video, Louis has the somewhat rational response because he can use his brain, and he's like, no, you shouldn't fight him, you should fucking call the police. I don't know why they haven't called the police yet, but shout out to the person who said they should be calling the police, because they should be definitely calling the police at this point. Legoshi says that he wants Louis to be there at the fight, but Louis is smart and he says, no, I'm not gonna be there. And Legoshi explains that it's very much so a possibility that he could die in this fight, and that Louis is the reason that he's come so far, and that if he's gonna die, he wants Louis to be there for it, which is a little grim if I'm being honest. Louis then starts to laugh because he can't take Legoshi seriously with all of that makeup and that dress. Legoshi then tells Louis the time, the location, and the date for the New Year's Eve bash before leaving. Ibuki comes back and he asks, hey, what happened to the big girl? Louis says, I turned her down. And Ibuki says, you know what? I think you made the right choice. God damn. Ibuki is fucking awesome in this scene. It was pretty fucking funny. And Louis is adamant that, you know, he is not gonna be going to this New Year's Eve bash. We then cut to the day of the New Year's Eve bash. And we see Riz, he's outside of, I believe, you know, his dorm. And all of a sudden he's like, hey, you know, I can smell you, Pina, because Pina's been waiting for him. And Pina says, you know, hey, I just wanted to know something, because if you lose to Legoshi, then there's a good possibility I'm never going to see you again. And he's like, I just want to know, did you plan to eat Tem the whole entire time, like from the first time that you met him? Or was it something on impulse? And Riz says, you know what, I really don't want to talk about it. And then he says, you know, Pina, recording someone without consent is a crime, as Riz pulls down a camera that's been placed on a pole that presumably Pina put. We then get a flashback to Pina's speech that says, kill me if you must, but I'll never cower to the likes of you. And Riz says, when you said that, you meant it, right? As he gets closer and closer to Pina, with the camera focused on Pina, then cutting off. We then cut to Legoshi looking, you know, at his whole entire cut, and Gohan is there to give him sort of like some last minute advice, saying that whether he wins or he loses, he's gonna have a difficult road ahead of him. And as Legoshi rides the train to the New Year's Eve bash, we see Legoshi thinking about how every single year before this he would spend New Year's Eve with Jack. And, you know, if he was to die, that him, everyone in his dorm room, room 701, and everyone in Drama Club would be sad if Legoshi ended up dying. He then pulls out his phone saying that he doesn't even want to think about Haru being sad, and that the first thing that he's gonna do if he ends up surviving this encounter with Riz is that he wants to listen to her voice. We then cut back to Shishigumi as Louis, you know, after a little bit of monologuing, he realizes to himself that he has always liked carnivores, and he wonders if he's always felt this way as he's thinking of Legoshi. Louis then turns to Ibuki before saying that he's going to be leaving Shishigumi, and Ibuki is like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You're dropping a huge fucking bomb on me. And Louis says that, you know, that he has to leave. He's got to go see Legoshi. And, you know, that it seems as though no matter what Louis does, it seems that all he's done is run from his problems, while Legoshi has faced his problems head on. Ibuki makes it very clear that Louis will not be able to come back to Shishigumi if he goes and saves Legoshi. And, you know, the final thing that he says is like, hey, you know what? We're going for a ride. Now we are here under the bridge. We're here for the New Year's bash between Riz and Legoshi. And Legoshi, of course, he's like, yo, I'm sorry for being late. And Riz is like, no, it's all good. Even now, you're always so considerate. And Legoshi's a little bummed out that Louis isn't there. But before they start the fight, Riz says that he's prepared the gong for their fight. And Legoshi is like, what the fuck is the gong? And Riz says it's to rile him up, to get him angry, so he can fight. So Legoshi can fight with nothing held back. And suddenly, Legoshi starts to smell blood, as it's revealed through his hands and his shirt that Riz ate Pina. Pina is no longer with us. Pina, may he rest in peace. Remember a couple episodes ago when I said that when Pina said this, that it was going to come back to bite him in the ass. It came back and it bit his whole entire ass. Oh my god. But rest in peace, Pina. We hardly knew ye. Now we get to Louis and Ibuki as they're basically driving, you know, they're going for that ride. And Ibuki basically is telling Louis how he's fundamentally changed him and his way of thinking as they go into a tunnel. And Ibuki says, I belong just like this tunnel, in darkness. In the dark, there's no guarantee you'll make it out alive before we hear a gunshot. And that is where the episode ends, because of course that's where the episode fucking ends. Holy shit. This is a lot. This is a lot to unpack. And considering, from what I've read online, this is the episode before the finale. Before the season 2 finale. And holy shit, they've been building this shit up. New Year's Eve bash, you got that, you got Louis, what's it called? Oh my god. And normally, when I first started watching season 2, I sort of just like, was not a fan of how they pushed Haru and Legoshi's relationship to the side, but my god, this shit is getting so good. It's getting so good, and you couldn't have picked a worse cliffhanger than that. But yeah, that's been it for this review. I will definitely be back for the season 2 finale. these episodes they've been becoming really good. And Riz, he is so demented, and I love him as this villain. Because he's just a fucking dick. He ate Pina. He ate Pina. If you liked Pina, I feel so sorry for you. He ate Pina. God damn. This shit's fucking crazy. But do me a favor, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this whole entire episode in the comment section below. Make sure you guys hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I've been Samuel V, aka Excellent Anime Reviews, and I will see you all as soon as I can.